This camera's not getting normal.
That's my best angle. That is, seriously, I look best that way. We'll get to that. Sunglasses, though, can I show you?
Connor, if you could just turn that camera. Show's going right.
Well-oiled machine. Well-oiled machine.
Anyway, we're here with Dan. Dan doesn't like to wear sunglasses. We were just discussing it. Dan Perez, who I thought you were Latina last time you came on. You're the opposite of Latina. You're a pale, white, Jewish, middle-aged man, which is the opposite of a Latino.
It's true. But
Dan is applying to be my co-host. You got to bring it. You got to be witty. You got to be smart and fresh. You can't like sunglasses, obviously. So, so far, check.
Here's the thing about sunglasses, okay?
Let me hear it.
Everyone looks better in sunglasses. Everyone looks better in sunglasses.
Okay.
Unattractive people put on sunglasses, and it transforms them, and they are all of a sudden attractive.
Okay.
I put on sunglasses.
Yeah. The opposite
Worse.
of that. I don't know if that's true.
It's a fact.
Let's see it, Dan. Whoa! All kidding aside, you actually do look worse.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a fact. I know that. And
it is, yeah. But you want to know why? What's interesting is you and I have a very similar football-shaped face.
I don't support that.
My face looks like a Wilson. There's a Wilson in football, or is it Franklin? Who makes the footballs?
I think they both make.
Okay, my face looks like a 5-stitch Wilson.
I'm not disputing that you have a football face. I don't think I have a football face.
You can't say you have a football face. I don't have a football face.
No, but you're the one that told me I have a football face.
Dan, you and I, if you took your face, your head, off your shoulders, and I took it and I 3-stitched it right here and I did a 5-step drop back, I could, the perfect spiral.
You think?
Why? Because of the oblong shape of your head. And that's fine because I too have an oblong shaped head.
I don't buy. I think that's a little bit of a Hail Mary.
That's very funny. That's very funny. Yeah.
I don't necessarily believe that. I think.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think I think I've told you this. My grandmother tells my mother that I have a perfectly formed head because I was a C-section baby.
But Dan, I'm looking at you. But you don't. But I love you. This is not an insult.
No,
My point is, it's just not shaped the way you think it's shaped.
It's not an insult. It's a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. But my point is, like, it's not. And that's not an insult to say you're shaped.
That. It is.
Well, what does perfectly shaped mean? Like the circumference is completely round, like the same when you use that protractor thing where you go like this.
You ever seen people that can draw the perfect circle?
Yeah, that's insane.
How cool
you know,
is that?
Jerry Seinfeld, I think, once drew the perfect triangle, and it turned into like a thing.
On the show?
Maybe it was a circle. Yeah, on the show.
Okay.
Literally, I think they were sitting around the writers, and they said,
Was there a puffy shirt? Was there Seinfeld Trivia earlier
Yeah, puffy
today?
shirt. Did you get that? The only Seinfeld item that was in the Smithsonian. Let me tell you what the hint was. I said, give me a hint. Here's the hint they gave me. That was basically the hint I was giving. Yeah. They're like, you said you're so good at trivia. I'm like, let's all settle down. So I said, I know a guy. Can you guess who it is?
Similar hint. Yes,
right.
I get that.
Let me give you a hint. It's a guy.
You have a clock now?
I needed the clock.
You're
Let me
like
tell
a
you
shrink.
why.
It's like being in therapy.
No. Let me tell you why I have a clock. I have a clock because I thought that in the early days of the show that Lance and I had this great mental communication going on. So I was looking at Lance and I would do this. Right? I'd give a little nod like, should I be wrapping this up? I have no idea what time it is. It could either have been 10 minutes or an hour and a half, and Lance would look back at me and go, great. So I said, thank you so much for being here, whatever. And after this went on for a couple days, Lance said, we're going to need to, extend just the guests a little bit because, we started at 11, it's 11:07, and we've run through all the guests already, and now you have to fill for 4 hours. I said, well, you keep giving me the sign to wrap it up. He goes, what sign? I go, I nod and you nod back. He goes, I just assume you're nodding yes. So I said, yes, we're still doing the show. So I said, you know what? That system sucks.
Shorthand. You guys have a shorthand down.
We have a shorthand to fight.
So I said, forget you. You guys deal with getting microphones. I'm going to deal with my own timing. I can't see anything, right?
Yeah, well,
now I got the.
Microphone's going to be here by Friday.
Okay, good. That's great.
Does that mean that no one can hear us until then?
No, they can hear us.
I can't hear you.
No, we happen to have had two sort of low talkers. You remember the Seinfeld low talker?
Of course,
we have had a few low talkers.
Right. And I always love, my favorite part of the show is when Lance goes to the guest in the middle of them talking. Can you speak up? Just speak louder?
Can't hear you.
It's like a teacher
in
the back.
It's like I don't have the TZ background.
Clearly.
Do you know what though? That's
Lance,
an
do you have
advantage.
pneumonia? You've now put 27.
Lance, come sit over here. I'll switch seats with
colder in
you.
the shade.
Lance has put.
I get the shade, you get the sun.
So you don't think I'm exaggerating? How many layers has Lance put on since you sat down here?
3.
He looks like
Lance-
Joey Tribbiani
Lance
from Friends.
literally slept.
Also a good episode.
Thank you.
Lance literally slept an hour last
I know
night.
you did.
He has the chills.
Yeah, rough night. Lance, what happened?
Liz, you
I
can't
flew
afford to
back
get
from
sick.
California.
Red eye?
Not red eye because I wanted to make sure I was here on time for the show, so I landed at.
Because you don't trust Connor to handle anything?
I do trust Connor to handle something, just not the show yet. So, especially since I have the broadcast phones in my pocket.
So when we come up here, Lance has Connor has all 3 tripods ready
And
to
we're
go.
waiting
Everything.
on the-
We're just waiting on
Lance.
the action.
Right. So, but like last night, I got in at like my flight landed at 2:00. I waited for my golf clubs. I got my golf clubs. I drag them to my car. I'm loading them in my car. I opened up the bag and I'm like,
Not your
Mine?
golf clubs.
that's not my tampon.
Oh.
I'm like,
But what gave it away?
it wasn't my brand.
That's funny line.
So
Oh.
I had
wow.
to walk back to the thing. Thankfully, they had my clubs there, and the nice lady got her clubs, and we were all.
Oh.
And then I drove home, and I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get here. So I went to sleep at 4. I got up at 5.
Listen, one day this show is going to be the biggest thing. And as I told my OBGYN this morning for my annual appointment, who was like, what
Does
are
she
you
have
up
a
to?
brand tampon that she wants to
No,
recommend
but
to
she
me?
definitely recommended it. She was like, I have someone for you, a great guest for you, for the show, because I told her all about the show. Now, I will tell you that for a split second, I was like, this is awkward. Think of any TV show, when you go in for an appointment, there's only one thing they're looking at. They're not looking in your ear. You are slid down to the end of the table, legs way up out the world.
We got
as
the
if
visual.
spoke. You
yeah.
got the visual?
I got the visual.
And it's always a little bit uncomfortable, but I try to fake like it's not uncomfortable.
I'm
so
good.
I'm like, how you doing? How the girls? Like, things are good. Anyway, so she's like, what are you up to? So I'm like, I know. Like, I'll talk about Lance, and I'll talk about the show.
Oh, great.
So she has someone for us. Anyway, what's my point? I don't know what my point is.
Go
Go
ahead.
It was you were commenting on the fact that I was wearing multiple layers.
And then
Oh,
you
that
were
was
tired
like
because of the flight, and you took the tampon golf
oh,
bag.
yeah, the tampon.
When I was once flying to LA to host like a cocktail party, and I had a backpack and a carry-on with a suit. And in my backpack, I probably had a pair of shoes and like a top kit, and then my suit, shirt, and it was maybe probably a tie in there
Right.
also. And someone took the wrong hanging bag
Right.
and left. And
Oh.
so I was standing there with someone else's hanging bag, and I was in like jeans and like a sweater, and I had this thing that I had to do. And this was the beauty of my job, because I worked at a men's fashion magazine, or men's like lifestyle magazine with a big emphasis on fashion.
Editor-in-chief of Details
So
magazine.
I worked at Details magazine. So I got into the car on the way to my hotel, and I called our fashion department back here in New York, and I said, this just happened to me. And our fashion director, our fashion editor said, okay, give me a couple minutes. And by the time I got into town from the airport, he had set up an appointment for me to go to a store in Beverly Hills and get a new suit,
Wow.
which they gave to me because I was in such like a state about
Yeah.
it. It was awesome.
Wow.
So I then started to pretend to lose my stuff
As well you
all the
should.
time.
Sure.
You know, I don't know. Someone took my 4-acre house.
Yeah, where the
You
hell
know,
is
I
that?
don't know where it is.
The hell did I put my
don't
Tesla?
know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know.
It's a good deal
yeah,
if you can get it. It's a good
if you
deal.
can get it.
Yeah.
If you can get it.
So all you have to do for this to happen is be the editor-in-chief of a men's fashion
Exactly.
magazine.
Back to Seinfeld for a second, though. Do you remember the Kavorka?
Of course I remember. Do I remember the Kavorka? Every day I talk about the Kavorka. Sometimes I have the Kavorka, many times throughout the year.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm just not gonna
I
lie.
had a Kavorka conversation over the weekend, and I think that because the Kavorka is like one of the great mysteries. I too have had the Kavorka in my life.
Yeah.
I no longer have it, but I have.
I don't have it either.
I have had it.
But when you have it,
But
you
what
don't
a
want to
gift.
overanalyze.
No,
Yeah, you just want to
don't
ride
wanna-
it out.
It's
Ride it
like
out.
being on a
What is the
streak on a
Kavorka?
professional baseball team. You don't talk about the streak.
You just
You
go
don't
with
talk
it.
about the Kavorka. You just
Yep.
ride it out.
Remember the game where Kobe hit like 64 points or something.
81.
He had like the physical Kavorka.
It's the Kavorka. The Kavorka
Is
is
when you're unstoppable. You're just so appealing. You just.
So it's not like a scarf.
It's not like a
it's
scarf.
not like a pashmina. I think you're going with pashmina
If
there.
you walk down the street and like you can't miss. You say hi to a girl and
You're
she's
in the
like,
zone.
"Here's my number." Like you are in the zone. You don't overthink it. You don't overanalyze.
Kramer and the Latvian Orthodox nun, if that is a reference for you at all.
He had the Kavorka, and the only way to
Kavorka.
break it was with all the garlic and the onions and everything he wore around him. That's when George converted, right?
To Latvian Orthodox. Yes, of course.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I'm still watching the show. Did you watch Diner, by the way?
Not yet.
Have you seen Diner?
I'm from Baltimore. I'm a diner.
The Diner
diehard.
alum.
I'm like
Diner
I'm like the
alum.
original Diner. I love all those Barry Levinson Baltimore movies. There was Avalon, which was a really good movie as well. But Diner was great. You should see that.
I know. I really need to see it. Time is what I don't have. Best line from Seinfeld, where they found the John Cheever's letters.
Yeah.
And George was there, and they were going to go to a movie, and Jerry's like, and the two of them were like, well, on that note, we're going to go. Time is what he's referring to when he does this. We're just going to go. I use that line all the time. We're going to go. Time is what he's referring to with the, okay, gotta go. So I opened up the show talking about, that's a leaf. I thought that was a dead bug. The Saturday Night Live. Did you see Saturday Night Live?
Well,
Or at least the first 25
I saw
seconds?
I saw the Kate McKinnon Hallelujah performance, and I saw the Dave Chappelle
That's all you need to see.
monologue, and then I also not live. I'm deep into REM sleep at
As
that
I
point.
was.
But and then I also saw the Chappelle Chris Rock sketch where all these sort of like liberals were like talking about how like life is so difficult, and you have these like two black men sitting around. I mean, like, are you kidding me? And I thought it was great. I thought it was terrific. I actually I last night fell asleep listening to, or after listening to, this amazing podcast, this New Yorker podcast where David Remnick, who's the editor of the New Yorker, who had interviewed Leonard Cohen actually just over the summer, just a couple months ago. It was a beautiful story, and Remnick's obviously really an amazing writer. But they put together this podcast where they kind of cut in actual pieces of the interviews, pieces of the recording of Remnick talking to Leonard Cohen with live performances from Leonard Cohen and with old interviews. It was this amazing thing. And David Remnick kind of talking over it for the most part.
Right.
And he's really sort of articulate and it was incredible. The Kate McKinnon thing I thought was really beautiful. I think
I was blown away.
Yeah, listen, you have and then Dave Chappelle, who you haven't seen in some time, like crushed it. I thought that monologue was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, look, I expected the Kate McKinnon to be funny, and it was poignant. I expected the Dave Chappelle to be poignant, and it was funny. So my emotions were all kinds of twisted up by the time we really got into it, and I loved that. It felt good. It was a ride. It was like a roller ride that I hadn't been on with that show.
But emotions were twisted up long before Saturday, right?
So that was my next question. Let's just say this. I went into Saturday poo-pooing the protesters, thinking, guys, nothing's going to change. This is the system. This is the political system that we've had in place for hundreds of years.
Accept it.
You have to,
right?
Because it's a waste of time and energy to fight it and fight it and fight it. We got to move forward. Still talking in the middle of a sentence, actually, and a thought.
Sorry.
When you're done drinking it, can you put the bottle down?
Oh, right. Sorry. Okay.
It's in your way.
Oh, is this like?
It's like a bottle top that just looks.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a little random.
Okay.
If you were going to drink it, I wasn't going to make a big deal. But
I couldn't. I know that you guys have the shorthand down.
We have no day hand down.
But I couldn't
get
it.
nothing down.
Sorry,
everything's up. Everything's up in the air.
Yes, I will put it. I could get even like a long straw.
That'd be fantastic.
Like as a kid, you used to
Of course, you connect them all together.
You were saying, come on, guys, accept it.
Accept it. It doesn't matter who you voted for, right? Like, it is what it is. We've been through worse. This is the outcome. We've been through worst as a nation, and we've gotten through it. If we could get up on September 12th, 2001, like we got up the next day, and some of us went to our jobs, and we lived, and we were still, still life moves on. It's life's conveyor belt, and it doesn't stop for anything or anyone. If Hillary had won and everyone else was protesting, the Hillary supporters would be like, "What are you doing? What? We won fair and square. What's there to protest?" So don't be too hypocritical. if you're that unhappy, get out and vote in 4 years. If you're that unhappy, make sure that, you know...
Yeah, I'm voting 2 years. Midterm elections in 2 years. I mean, you guys,
I don't fully understand. Like,
change it. All right, so we'll just go with 4 years.
4 years because it works for me better.
I'll talk to you later.
Let me tell you about this mural. It's amazing mural I just saw.
No, but listen, I know Trump voters, and which there are many. Obviously, he was elected president. And look, all I'll say is that I mean, and to go back to the SNL open and monologue, you know, for me, I was emotionally hungover for several days. Not because I was so deeply vested in getting Hillary Clinton elected president, because I wasn't, though I voted for her. But more just the sort of like the shock, like this,
right.
like I was stunned. I feel like stunned is probably the right word. You know,
I think we all woke up the next day
just
thinking
like,
like when we go to sleep, like somehow, don't worry, like it's all gonna work itself out. It's fine. It's fine. This is what happens. He'll win a couple states. You go to sleep at night, even if it's 4 a.m, you'll wake up, everything will be okay again. But yeah, you're right. We all woke up a little stunned.
It's like that scene in Back to the Future when Marty McFly.
Thank you for using last names. I was like, who's that? Is that the Biff character?
When Marty pushes his father out of the way and ends up getting bumped by the car, and then wakes up and is at this, you know, he puts on his vest, and he's sitting around. They're sitting there around the dinner table, and they're watching The Honeymooners, I think, and sorry.
Cool. Let's reset.
How that works for you?
This is the best Seinfeld.
Right.
We're going to shut it down. We're going to start over again with the Merv Griffin set. This always reminds me of that.
There's a point in that movie where someone says, "Who's the president now?" And he says, "Ronald Reagan." And whomever he's saying it to goes, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, Ronald Reagan. Yeah.
I feel like Ronald Reagan, the actor.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of where we are right now. And I feel like that's kind of where I am right now. It's like, who's president now? Donald Trump. Do me a favor. You know, and I feel like that's...
Right, and I think what's happening now is we're like, okay, fine. We've digested Donald Trump. Maybe not well. A lot of Tums went down with it. But at least show us that you could surround yourself with the right people and not these far right-winging, we're going to change the state of play in this country as it stands. Like, at least surround yourself with some people who you think could keep you on the straight and
narrow. Did you see the 60 Minutes interview last night?
I did not. I was at dinner last night. A great restaurant, by the way, if anyone wants to go. I went to Catch downtown.
Seafood?
Yes, because of the Vakakta diet that we're on. I can really just eat seafood and vegetables. It was fantastic.
Has Steph been keeping up the diet?
No, she lasted 9.5 days.
Okay.
Not only is she not keeping up the diet, she's gone like the other way. Like,
really?
you know how you came in with a bag full of Dylan's candy? You couldn't get it in your mouth fast enough.
I've gone rogue. I was going to show up with a baguette in my hand, actually, but...
Eating it from one end.
Anyway, the 60 Minutes thing last night was really interesting, and of course you have the kids come in, and that's always really... I find them so fascinating.
Yeah.
The children.
I wish they were a little bit younger. They'd be even more fascinating and slightly more unpredictable. I'm looking for unpredictability. That's why my focus is on Barron these days.
Yeah, because there's still hope. You know.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Right.
But it was just really interesting to see. But you're right. You have to this is it. We have to swallow this. This is what it is, and there's really no point in complaining about it. And I think it's been interesting. And I have young kids, and I have an 8-year-old who was they're aware of what's going on, and so it's really amazing. And I'm grateful to SNL, frankly, to kind of bring it back to. For having really, I think SNL is the most meaningful they've been in ages, at least for me. I'm like a lapsed viewer for sure, but
me too.
I think that's where they are at their best when they can do things like that. I will say I thought the Kate McKinnon thing was a little heavy.
No, how was it heavy? Leonard Cohen died this week. she's saying the 3 greatest verses, and they were practically written for Hillary Clinton. I tried my best. I got it wrong. I never lied to you. I guess I just fooled you.
Yeah, no, I understand why.
I mean, they practically said in the verse with the email server. I was like, that's crazy how he wrote about the email server with the wiki.
I don't know. I just found it a little heavy-handed. But
and then she comes at the end and she says, "I'm not giving up. Neither should you." Like, we all go on. Like, I thought it was great. I thought it brought everybody together.
You were touched by that.
She was crying this morning.
I cried on the show.
You wept?
Yes.
I missed that.
Like, fully cried this morning.
Like
talking
tears?
about it. Yeah.
Really? Okay, then never mind. I was so moved also.
Oh, forget it.
It was amazing. I loved it. Can you hand me one of those grapes?
Do you remember when it was so hot on here that we thought we were going to die?
I know, I'm freezing now.
I literally
Lance was ahead
freezing.
of it. Just take a look for a second at this.
I know, they're so
Okay.
injected with steroids.
Like, that's not, when I grew up, this was like,
Okay,
this was
a watermelon.
Yes. This was not a grape.
I'm allergic to apples, real apples.
Grapes you used to be able to eat in one bite. You know, this
You're right.
is,
You can cut them in half.
I
this
know.
is, yeah, you can quarter this bad
Wait,
boy.
I have a kid. This is 8. This is 8
this
snacks.
is like, you can see, right, you can eat, like,
Nice. Look
so
at the
this is
size
really
of
amazing.
it.
And you know,
Hobgoblin. Those are hobgoblin grapes.
no trick, all treat. You think this is Halloween packaging?
It's
Or you think
raisins de table vert sans pepper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder what the ingredients are.
which basically translates to green seedless table grapes.
Oh.
In the event that you were wondering what that
I didn't read
is.
to the left.
You know,
Like you.
On the Jenna diet, you're allowed to have grapes that were born at a nuclear plant.
So here's my question about the Jenna diet, and okay, look, I know I came in here with a bag of candy,
You did. That's
And-
not an exaggeration. There
and-
was literally a bag of
and
candy.
yeah, I'll dig into it in a second, but I am still adhering to
What, the general theme of
yes.
it?
I mean, although I did
Okay.
have a bagel earlier, I am
Which part of it are you adhering to?
He's
legumes.
eating.
I haven't had a legume.
But would you normally have had a legume?
I love legumes.
Okay.
I love legumes. I eat quinoa normally. I haven't had quinoa.
Since when are we
It's an ancient
emphasizing
grain.
the second half of that word?
I
I think it's just quinoa.
Oh, you don't go. You don't.
I'm gonna have the quinoa.
No
No, just quinoa.
quinoa.
Yeah.
I don't know. Quinoa just makes it seem so much more.
I bet you're the kind of guy that shops at Target. You shop at Target?
I had an embarrassing moment. I do not.
Okay.
I love Target though.
Best store ever.
There's a pizza place near where I live.
I really want some pizza right now.
Oh, there's pizza.
Sorry,
I
I
definitely
couldn't.
have pizza also.
Oh
but-
God!
There's a
I
pizza
like
place near where I
Pizza
live.
with beer.
Yeah, I would do
Pizza
that.
with beer right
I would
now.
do pizza and beer.
How would you say
Pizza and beer.
CAPRI?
C-A-P-O. Okay. Oh, if we're
Capri.
going Capri or Capri. Like if it's pants, I would say Capri or like Capri Sun. And if I'm going to Italy, I'm going to Capri.
Okay, so I was picking up my kids at a play date. And they said, "What are you doing for dinner?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to take my kids to Capri."
Yeah.
And the woman like did a spit take, and she's like, "Capri?"
Really? That far off? Like it should have been Capri?
It should have been Capri. But I'm like, "No, it's a Capri." Does that make
Yeah.
me seem like some like
Weird.
overly worldly d-bag?
When I was a sportscaster, just to be different, instead of when I did highlights of the Phoenix Coyotes, are they still the Phoenix Coyotes? Or maybe I don't even know.
Yeah.
I always call them the Coyotes.
What sport is the Coyotes?
Hockey.
Hockey.
Oh, yeah.
And it's,
But, yeah, the Arizona Coyotes.
they're Arizona now. They all left. The Phoenix Cardinals, they all became Arizona. Phoenix was not cool enough to house the actual
cold.
professional team.
Do
I'm
you want to
freezing.
throw?
I'm going to go through a pashmina scarf.
Why not?
I'm going to go through
Something
a
on?
No, I have a thing in here.
Is that an additional layer that you have?
I mean, I don't know how he can fit it all on. He literally is Joey. Lance is wearing
I'll
12
wear 20
layers.
layers. I don't wear like a winter coat. I just
Oh, this is you layer it
my
up.
winter garb.
By the way, I respect that. I really respect that. I find winter coats
Thank you.
cumbersome, and then when you get where you're going,
I'm like Superman.
there's very Red Baron,
I
like
just
Skippy.
took you
And then
out.
when you
Um,
start undressing and people are like,
People think you're nuts.
they think
Lance.
I'm nuts, but they're like, wow, you have 12 layers. They all think I'm like really fat.
Then you take it all off. And he's like
I take it
anorexic.
off.
You're like,
Yeah.
so have you been to Warby Parker? Do you wear glasses?
So everyone, I do wear glasses. I did not get mine at Warby Parker, but everybody raves. Like I don't know one person that doesn't love Warby Parker. It doesn't seem like the easiest system though.
I'm in the middle of a Warby Parker experience right now,
And?
so I can tell you, and I will update you at the
Seems
end of my
hard.
experience. Well, it's not hard.
Anytime you have to
Right.
mail something back to me is hard. The mailing back option, I don't return anything Because
But
I hate mailing back.
Here's what I'll tell you.
Let's just tell people two things. One, this is Dan Perez. He was the editor-in-chief of Details magazine. He could speak to absolutely anything. He's me, but without the vagina. And we're talking about Warby Parker glasses, as far as I know. Warby Parker glasses is this great new, not new anymore, relatively new eyeglasses company where you basically like try on glasses like via the computer, and then they send you a couple, right?
Right.
And the ones
You
you
go.
don't like, you
You
send back.
try on glasses via the computer. You make it so complicated. You go like a billion people do on a daily basis online to shop.
Right.
And you pick out some frames. You get up to 5. You pick out frames that you would like to try on. They send you those
Yeah, but
frames.
that doesn't make sense. Like, I go to a store to do that, I have to try on 50 before I find 5. So can't they put your face, like you take a picture of your face and you can, you know, like
then
that's
that may
what they
exist,
should
but
do.
you wanna, you know,
Well,
you
sure,
wanna
but
have
then
like
you
a
can get the
tactile
5
relationship
from
with.
there.
So they send you 5. Anyway, don't be such a hater.
I know, I'm sorry.
You know, I really
I
seriously.
do love. No, don't get me wrong. I love it. I just think that the situation would be enhanced if you were able to see a computer image and then pick out the 5 from there.
I think that may be one of their offerings. I don't know. But anyway, it comes in a box that you keep. Try them on, put them back in the box. They give you a label. So here's your end of this. Peel the back off the label, slap it on there, and
go.
leave it with your doorman.
Okay,
so
but-
when the UPS. So I know that's a burden. I know.
Here's the.
I know
Sometimes
that's so
they
hard
put the
for you.
labels with the receipts, and it's just really hard to
No,
find.
it's really easy.
everything.
But so I picked a pair.
Yeah.
And picked a Pecco,
Peckle pickers.
right? Peckle pickers.
Peckle pickers.
Pickle peppers.
Sure.
And now they're on their way to me, and I will let you know. I'll debut them right here on the Jenna Wolf Show.
It could very easily be 5 years before you find a pair.
But
It's
it
only
is-
I
5
think
at a
these
time.
grapes need a pair of glasses.
My
They're
God.
big. I like your glasses, though.
I told him he needs a new pair of glasses. He looks like Revenge of the Nerds.
No, that's like that Malcolm X, like Ray-Ban.
They're originally they're vintage from the 1940s.
Are they Ray-Bans?
No, they're from the 1940s. They're like
They're
here.
literally Kmart glasses.
If you look here, you'll see like there's a serial number on
I
it
love how like
in the corner. Like you'll see.
I feel like these are
Good luck. Are you really blind?
awesome.
You'll see in the corner. You can
Do
actually
you
see the serial
remember
number.
the Seinfeld episode with the glasses where she wanted her boss's glasses and he wouldn't let, he got them from Singapore and then he wouldn't let anyone else have
Yes.
his glasses? Which one was that?
These are you're a wide-headed man.
Yes, he's not
I
putting
have-
that. Put
I
that
have-
on your
You're not-
face. You'll see. It'll fall right off your face. Oh,
Wow. Woo!
he's blind, isn't he? Even
Oh my God!
I had a partially detached retina.
I'll
so
show
the
you.
red
How do
light-
you?
I can't see. Right now I'm so dizzy.
Here, take these back.
Thanks a lot.
Woo! Wow, can you have LASIK? Isn't there something that can be done for people
No,
like
I
you?
actually I seriously had a partially detached retina. Like I had surgery. The other eyes took laser. Like I'm
That's a
beyond all
powerful
that.
prescription. But anyway, so I'm getting these glasses because what's happening at 45. I turned 45 this year.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I mean, not today, but just this past year. But I appreciate
whatever.
that. Where I now find myself. I know this is yours. Where I now find myself doing
Oh, I can't see it at all.
that, and I refuse. Every now and then I'm on the train or subway or waiting in line somewhere, and I see someone that has that like
The huge
they've
font
cha-
with
the
one
giant
letter
font.
per- yeah.
Like I can't do the giant font.
I
There's
can't
no. It's a pride
read at
issue.
all, but how do you know? Well, why do you? But maybe you just need reading glasses.
That's what it is. That's what they are.
But you can go to CVS and get reading glasses.
That's where
for
I got.
$12.
That's where I did. That's what I did.
But Warby Parker's going to be a little more expensive.
Why? It is a little more expensive, but you have better quality product.
Okay.
Kind of like these grapes.
Kind of like
Those
those
might
grapes.
be infused with something.
Yeah,
You think
that's
this is
uh,
not one
Some of our better-
You think this is not one ingredient grapes?
That's a
Bigger,
GMO. That's a
fatter
major
ball
GMO.
players have
Can I ask
used
you a question about
anything.
the diet, though?
Yeah.
The one thing that
Bothers you.
that bothers me, but the one thing that I struggled with and continue to struggle with when I choose to adhere to this diet is the portion control. So you say, oh, you can eat fruit, you can eat vegetables, you know.
Yeah,
So
sure.
like, I mean, I could sit and eat like an entire cantaloupe or what? Really?
No, it's Josh Weiner's birthday, and I completely forgot to wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Josh
Happy
Weiner.
birthday, Josh Weiner.
I'm sure you're watching.
You are, of course. Why wouldn't you be?
And so it's just like it was the quantity for me, like portion size.
But tell me what you were eating. Because broccoli you can eat all day. Brussels sprouts, all day.
Broccoli. I eat a lot of
I
vegetables.
feel like I should text Josh real quick.
Yeah.
Let me
Okay.
just
Happy
wish him
birthday,
a happy
Josh.
birthday
Yeah.
because I'm worried that I'm going to forget. So I'm just going to do this.
Josh, an old buddy?
Josh is my Today Show producer. He's going to come on the show
Wednesday.
Are you going to have a cake for him?
We should have something. Here, you're going to...
Thanks, dude. Now I gotta go get cake and watch him eat it
Where's
while I'm on the
Connor
fakakta diet.
Give him
yeah,
some
I'm gonna put a candle in one of these.
It's
I'm
a
gonna put
cupcake
40
with a candle.
candles in one of these
Can
grapes.
you take a photo of you for him?
I was going to do a video, but it's taking forever and a day to get to it. I think since the iPhone 7 came out, the iPhone 4 just stopped working.
You're still on 4?
No. Happy birthday, Joshy, and you thought I forgot.
Hey, happy birthday, Josh.
Literally in the middle of a show, and I stopped because I had to wish you a happy birthday. So happy birthday, love you so much. Talk to you soon. Mwah. Okay. Don't say that I don't.
Hit send.
Where did that go? Done. Okay. You didn't think that was funny? I'm like, just because the iPhone 7 came out, the iPhone 4 has to stop working.
I think,
Come on, it's funny.
are you going to get the 7?
Well, I wanted to get the 7, but
I used to get all that stuff. I used to give you all that stuff.
really?
Getting back to the free
It's
suit.
hard.
It is, I mean, let's be honest.
Let's be honest, free stuff is
like,
great.
free stuff is so awesome.
I know.
And
Look, I left the Today Show. I no longer get anything free. It's hard. It's hard to be normal.
It is hard to be normal.
Yep.
It is hard to be normal. It is hard to, I had an assistant my entire adult life. It's hard to...
And now you're like, Angie, can you...
Now Trump's been elected, and look, you have no assistance.
And now I've got nothing. I'm like, hey, can you give me a reservation at... Oh, wait.
Right,
I need a Connor. I
know. Lance has Connor, which is great. Where is Connor?
Where is Connor? Has Connor gone on his date yet?
Connor quit.
Connor
Has a girlfriend.
has a girlfriend now. Not through the date with Connor segment.
We literally opened it up to any woman in America, and he somehow found a date outside of
Unrelated
us. It was unbelievable.
to your
Yep.
vast audience.
Yeah, which is unbelievable. And yet believable at the same time.
It is, but Connor's a good-looking kid.
He's a good-looking kid, smart
You know?
kid, yep, and
He's got a little bit of like a Jim Ignatowski. You remember Iggy, like a little Taxi? You remember the Christopher Lloyd character on Taxi?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that
Ooh, that doesn't seem like a good character.
He's a good character. It's, he was a smart guy. He went to Harvard on that show, and then it's kind of, he did.
The Christopher Lloyd character?
Went to Harvard and ate a pot brownie and then turned into a wreck.
Is that the story of Taxi?
That's the backstory that they introduced on an episode.
Am I thinking
once.
the crazy where he used to wear that long coat and walk around like a crazy person?
Like Doc from Back to the Future.
Doc from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
What's he doing now, that guy?
He is, I don't know, he's got to be a little older. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We never want our guys to get older, right?
Not really.
I never want to see what people look like today.
We want them all to get old. We want everybody to get older. We don't
No,
want them
because
to
then
die.
that ages us.
Yeah.
You know,
want
do you
them to
understand what I
die,
mean?
No, I don't want them to die. What? No death.
So you want them to get older.
Okay.
Well, I just don't want it. I don't want examples coming back at me that I'm aging, which of course I know I am.
Sure.
But I just don't need to see the cast of 90210 reunion photos
Who are all
where they
grandparents.
all look like
Right.
The Brady
old
Bunch.
guys.
The Brady Bunch 50 years later.
You know?
That was a little before me. I watched the Brady Bunch, but he's right, or like the Saved by the Bell, or like the what was big at
Totally.
You know, that
Totally.
whole
You know,
like,
I mean, you're a couple years older than I am.
No,
but
I'm not.
Sorry. But it was the 90210 Saved by the Bell.
Right.
And then of course, listen, and I think I was on them because I was also watching. I mean, this is talk about like back when child actors really went rogue, but like Different Strokes and stuff like that. Are any of them still
all
alive?
the
Willis
little kids
is
had
still alive.
problems. Willis is still alive, barely. Todd Bridges. He almost didn't. He had like a really bad crack cocaine. Was in jail for a while. Like,
Really?
It was tough.
John
the little
needs a
kid
reset.
from what?
John needs a reset.
Oh, okay, we're talking to, remind me to talk about Family Ties. Dan Perez was the editor-in-chief of Details magazine. He is one of my best friends, and we could literally talk about anything or nothing. And there are very few people, I would say maybe there are 3 on the planet, where you could sit him right down next to me, we can talk for 5 straight hours.
That is true.
And be interesting.
Can I ask a question though? What a luxury for John to be. Like, how often you turn on something?
Oh, you're right, and be like, I wonder, blah,
what is
blah,
going
blah.
on? Who is this person? And I wait. I'm like, please put up. What's that, like the CG
The
or whatever?
Chiron.
Yeah, please put up the Chiron so I know who this person is, for Christ's
John
sake.
just says, I feel like knowing
So
who this
John
is.
is just like sitting there doing whatever, and be like, sorry, I need a reset.
Yeah.
I need a reset. Me. It's all about John needs a reset. Okay, John. No, it's amazing.
I was actually hesitating bringing it up because Jenna did say something about like who you were about like 5 minutes ago, but I saw him check in, and he's one of our loyal.
That's all.
He's the guy who he's the guy with the trivia question.
Oh, John.
Yeah.
Okay, not the best day for
Not
you,
his best
but
day.
I would have gotten it, by the way, from the. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
And he literally, I was like, I need a better
saying.
hint. He goes, episode 5. No, he goes, season 5, episode 2. And like, it made me angry. It actually
We're getting
made
the
me
same angry faces that we did from
I'm a
Tell
little
before.
upset.
Tell him.
I'm a little upset.
Here's the thing. Without
He's like
the glasses,
practically part of the show.
Can't they do like a bifocal for you so that when you take them
These
off,
are
you don't have to
progressives.
do that?
These are progressives.
They are?
Yeah.
See what I go through every day?
Are you like, if you look at your watch, you have people like, what time do they go?
I don't have a
like
watch.
that?
I look at my phone. I look at
Have
one
you
of my
ever seen
8
that?
phones.
Where they'll be like, they'll take the glasses off and be like, hang on 1 second. That's not funny, by the way.
Hilarious.
But it's funny.
It's
can
fun.
we have another Seinfeld trivia question? Now, 'cause now
John, give us a
two
Seinfeld
minds
trivia
are-
question.
John's gonna give us a trivia question for the contest between. Oh, you need 5 minutes between Dan and Jenna. In 5 minutes, there'll be a trivia contest.
Oh, a contest. No, I feel like we're better as allies than adversaries.
Yeah, we'll be allies.
Oh, okay. You guys are allies.
Yeah, I
So-
like it.
Okay.
But we'll see.
You've met Jenna, right?
No, we're good.
You're
I like it.
insanely competitive. I'm the least competitive person
That's
in the
why we
world.
make the best
I am
team.
because you think you're winning, and I just know it doesn't matter.
Right.
So,
So you just
yeah.
laugh at
So
me.
it's like, yeah, hey, awesome,
Okay.
you won, you did it.
I'm
you
like,
won.
I love winning. I don't even know what I just won, but I felt good there for a split
Yeah.
second.
I'm so non-competitive that it's probably like been a detriment to me in life.
What are you talking about? You like ran one of the biggest magazines in the world.
Past tense, ran.
Yeah, but so what? I was on one of the biggest shows in the world.
I
Past
know.
tense. Now this, hopefully.
Now we're watching Lance eat grapes the size of like a young child's head, and Connor's back.
Come
So-
on, you don't think the episode where Kramer decides he's going to start a talk show, so he steals Merv Griffin's set from the dumpster and he puts it in, he turns his whole apartment into a Merv Griffin show, and they come on, he's like, so how about those bunions? And he's like, oh no, and he's like, I'm sorry, we're going to have to reset. He shuts all the lights down, he's eating potato chips and crackers in the dark, and then the lights come back. And we're back! And we're back.
By the way, can I tell you something that I learned recently? But like one of the great heroes of this election, there many have emerged, like sort of media figures that have like really kind of risen up.
Can you give me initials?
Well, I was gonna. Yes, I will in 1 second. But Van Jones, I think, is one of them. I think Van Jones from CNN. Now he's not a media figure necessarily in the way
Right.
like a news anchor.
Yeah.
He's more of
Like a pundit.
like one of the pundits that comes on. But
Sure.
but I think one of the great all-time newsmen, Dan Rather
Really?
has emerged. You won't believe this. So he, these huge Facebook lives. Now here he is, very grandfatherly in like a sweater vest and like eating Fritos out of like what I can only imagine is some giant apartment somewhere in Manhattan. Really kind of like talking people through everything that's been going on, and it has really been amazing. And you have and people have I think found great comfort in that. And that's not to say that your buddy Lester and the other anchors aren't doing amazing jobs, because they are, of course.
Sure.
But here's a guy who no longer has to show complete objectivity.
Right.
And that's certainly
And
debatable.
there's a certain freedom to that.
There's a certain freedom to that, no doubt. And so here's this guy, and as I said, he is incredibly grandfatherly. You kind of like just want to go fishing with him,
Yeah.
and or just have him feel like everything's gonna be okay, you
Right.
know. And he's found this like mass following.
You know who else? I saw something along those lines. Vice started a
Nightly news show.
news show.
Yes.
So we watched a couple of the first ones, and one of the first few profiles I did was on John Boehner, and they sort of hung out with John at his place. From what the backstory, from what I read, I think someone told me this, was that it was a long process. It was a long get for them. They had to work really hard on being able to do this, and at first he didn't want to, and it was really like humanizing and lovely, and it was so pleasant to see him outside of that competitive, cutthroat
Yes.
arena where he could just talk about whatever he wanted
And
to talk
say
about.
whatever they want to say.
Say whatever he wants
There's
to
this
say.
great thing. If you and I'm sure you have, but you ever, like I have, or you ever read an interview with like an older actor who's just kind of at the point where he just doesn't care anymore.
Right.
So he's going to say, he doesn't have to worry about getting his next role.
Right.
He doesn't have to worry about you know.
But that's like what Robert De Niro just did with
motivating box office. Like, it doesn't matter. You're Robert De Niro, or you're Anthony Hopkins. I read this
Clint
interview.
Eastwood when he went a little nuts with the chair.
Yeah, with the stool.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that was.
Crime.
Are we in the back of an ambulance?
Pause for crime.
Small crime break. So is this the crew from the 7-3?
Okay, you know the 7 9's right down. Check us right up there. You from the 3-3?
1-3-3. But, she was passionate. She was passionate. It was very funny, and she was deeply passionate about that. I'm so selfish that I look at people like that, and I sometimes go, "Wow, that's really amazing that you are doing these things for other people. That is really."
Wait, what are you talking about?
This woman that was sitting here.
Oh, I thought we were talking about John Boehner.
No, not on Boehner anymore.
Yeah.
But Boehner's coloring similar to Trump's, though.
Boehner's been spending a lot of time in the sun. Not gonna lie to you.
No.
Always did.
But the
Trump, I have to wonder if he could maintain the same yellow hair.
no.
I mean,
no.
it has to cut it a little shorter, maybe.
I think he
and
needs to
then-
trim it, take a little trim. I think his suits are also like 4 times
Very
too big.
I don't understand
You know,
it.
can we, John with us? Do we have our
John
trivia?
is here.
Yeah.
He does not. He's not giving the question yet. He's still looking.
Ask John. He'll answer
Looking
anything.
for a question?
Yeah, I can come up with a question, but ask John a question. He'll
Okay.
answer.
What is Elaine's IQ on her first test?
Yeah, those numbers are tough. But I can
Yeah.
tell you everything else about the episode, where she
Yeah.
took it, how Jordan. Yeah, okay, go on.
All right, so that went well. Thank you, John.
very much, John.
That's good.
But like those,
John won. Dan and Jenna.
but those kind of questions, like I can ask you a question
Well, wait a
that you
minute,
definitely won't
John
get.
won. I mean, how do we know that he doesn't have
How do
like
we know
some
that he
Seinfeld trivia book with the answers in front of him?
If he does, then he sourced it.
All right, but here, let me give you
How
a
much
question,
money
John.
did Jerry give Elaine for her birthday?
Numbers are not good trivia questions.
Numbers
All
are not
the
good trivia
you've asked
questions,
so
John.
far
You
are numbers.
okay? That's 1-1. You, as the official scorer here, I'm giving Dan and Jenna a point because it was a follow-up
Garbage.
on a
They're picking up a dumpster.
No more number questions.
So I lived for a brief period in a building just on the other side of the Hearst Tower.
Yeah.
So the Hearst Tower is the one that
those
obviously,
triangles?
yeah,
Right.
exactly, with the triangles.
Right.
And I lived on the 63rd or 64th floor of this
Really?
like high rise. And when it was really windy,
Oh.
the chandelier
Oh.
makes it seem like
Of
Trump's, like Trump's
which
place.
floor? The second, third, or fourth floor of your
Of my
apartment?
triplex,
Yeah.
The light fixture hanging over the table would sway
That's so
back
scary
and
to
forth,
me.
and water in the toilet bowl
No.
would.
That doesn't scare you?
Well, I'm not living there anymore, so it was scary. It was really scary. And then on really windy days, also you could hear like whistling through like the elevator shaft. I would be scared to get into an elevator.
Listen, I will tell you that my dream is to be able to live on one of these super high floors of one of these buildings. Like, I would absolutely love it.
I mean,
would
it's
love
really
on a
nice.
snowy day to just be up there
Yes.
cozy and watch
Yes.
football and
Are you a big football fan?
huge, not college, pros, huge football fan. Did you want to talk about it or
No,
waiting for
I don't
John?
have. That's pretty much the extent of my.
Okay, just by asking
of my
someone.
football.
Yeah, you watch football. Did you see the game this weekend?
Awesome game.
Oh,
Awesome.
I literally
Awesome.
had
I mean,
no idea which way it was going to go.
I wasn't sure they were going to pull it out.
I know, me
I
too.
know.
And I
It
stayed
was
up.
amazing.
Usually I fall asleep, but I felt like I needed to
was
see them win.
Awesome. I wore my jersey.
Who else could I? This is my point. This is why he's so
You
good.
know, I had my jersey on. I think what I
Jersey.
love about no, I'm not a football guy. I am from Baltimore though, and so when
By
I
the way,
go,
tough loss for you, guy. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Tough loss for you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Steelers play the Cowboys. He's a big Steelers fan. Sorry, go on.
it's okay.
I'm
It's
actually
okay.
a real football fan. Go on.
I believe you. I
Yeah.
totally believe you. And I'm really not. Like I am really.
I
not.
believe you.
But I marvel at when I go on Facebook and I look at all these people that I
I
grew
know.
up with who I haven't seen in like 30 years, and they're like, it's like face painting
know.
and full
It's
jerseys
not that.
on game day.
Let me tell you the thing that I always have to scratch my head about is when it's a Sunday, you're walking down the street and you see the his and hers jerseys and they're walking down the street together, or going through an airport and you see them wearing jerseys,
Can't do it.
getting on a plane wearing a
Can't do it.
jersey.
I have a hard enough time with
I
a man
mean,
in a jersey,
A
woman
man
in a
and
jersey.
woman, but together as a couple. Forget that. How about getting on a plane? Two things I don't think you should get on a plane with, like a jersey and your pajamas, or sweats. Like those are like you see people get on a plane sometimes in slippers, and so it's like if the flight was that early for you that you couldn't find time to put pants on, you need no matter what to book the next flight.
You should be traveling.
That's
A.
it.
B. Nothing gets me more. I'm all for that on a plane.
But only on the plane.
Don't walk on the plane.
Oh,
Don't walk on the plane. I'm sorry.
they have to go and
I
give
want
the-
to strangle you with it. I want to.
oh.
Yeah, don't do that.
You're
Don't
walking
do that.
down, and you're carrying all your bags, and you have the thing on your
That's a
neck
problem
like
for
this.
me.
Big
That's
problem.
a huge problem for me.
Big problem. Little thing people don't know about me. I don't even know if this thing still exists. I was obsessed with Sky Mall. Obsessed.
Did you get the upside down tomato?
I could not get on the plane fast enough to start scrolling through. I took every single copy.
Did you ever make a purchase?
Never made a purchase, but because I mostly made fun of and also appreciated. Just like I loved the Brookstone catalog, I loved the Hammerthorne Schlemmer catalogs. Like loved all those sort of quirky, way too expensive for anything I can
Yeah,
afford.
but like cool stuff that you don't need.
There was one thing that was the best thing ever. It was a guy sitting in a seat, and they sold a big pillow, and the pillow came up this way and this way. It was like triangular, and the guy was sleeping on it.
I
Like,
love that. That's so awesome.
He was like, and he goes, "Oh, deep comfort in the middle of your economy seat." I mean,
How do you get past that to go to the bathroom?
that guy, he's his own hazard. There's no way they would let that on the plane. I mean, it would be like putting yourself in a cage and sitting there for 3 hours.
I love that.
Too much.
Here's my problem. I never wanted to touch those magazines in the seat pocket in front of me. And can't do that. And our friend Aviva went to the library last week and had all these library books like sitting on her coffee table. And I was like, you know that like someone had that book like sat on the toilet and this happened, okay? Like
I can't.
and sat there and read that book. Go buy a book. So I'm all for libraries. Don't get me wrong.
Love the Dewey Decimal.
I'm all right.
Love John Dewey.
Like, bring it. But I personally don't want, I don't want Snotfinger on my.
I understand that.
My book. There's like,
Okay, John. What was the name of the bookstore that George brought the book into and was officially tainted?
Oh, I got nothing. I have no idea.
John, quick, you have 5 seconds because I know you're not looking at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry, John. Bertanos.
Of course.
Of course. See what I mean, John? It's hard to play both ways. John's like, first of all, can I just say one thing about the Dewey Decimal System, and I'll get back to this. There are 2 things in life that I tried a couple times to learn that I just could never learn, and
handball?
I finally just gave up. Nope, I got handball. And you're gonna laugh, but the only 2 things that I really did try, and I'm not talking about like long division because that's hard, were the Dewey Decimal System and chess. I didn't
Both
get
tough.
the Dewey Decimal System. I didn't understand it. It was like 0.00023, and suddenly the book is over there in that drawer in the card catalog. And I said, can you please explain the system to me? Because you start going to the library in 2nd grade, and the Dewey, it's a big thing, the Dewey Decimal System. You have to open it up, and there's a card.
It's been a while for me.
I don't understand it, honestly. Like, somehow...
You would go through the cards, and
you go through the card, you pick out the one you want. Now, there's some sort of number.
It would tell you where your stack was?
Yes, but the number was like 0.0032. It was never like 4. Right? Because that...
And then the .0032 somehow sent me, and I did this, I was a child.
But you couldn't take the card with you because then the card would be gone, right? So you had to like put it back and then go find the corresponding aisle, corridor, shelf, number in. It was very complicated, much like chess.
It's based upon the way you just said it, doesn't seem that complicated.
Well, it was complicated, Dan, and I didn't understand
That's
it.
totally fine. And our children will never have to use the Dewey Decimal System.
Our children are never going to go to the
Or
library.
the encyclopedia. I used to love the encyclopedia.
Oh, I would take a book and just start going through it.
Such good stuff.
Right?
Yes, it was amazing. I used to love it.
Yeah, but now we have the Encyclopedia Safari. The Encyclopedia Google Chrome, and that's basically what it comes down to. And the problem is there's too much out there on the World Wide Web, right? So the Encyclopedia Britannica, you were narrowed a little bit in your search because
Would you get it every year with the wolves?
Excuse me. Perhaps you don't know that my father would skip seeing us to drive around the city in the block 75 times looking for a free spot, and if the time came up that our kids went to bed, he'd say, well, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to see them this time, before he put that car in a lot. So you ask me again if we would get him every year. Okay? Cheapness has been passed down from my dad to my brother, and I hope that it skips me. Anyway, no, we had one copy. It was missing, wait for it, 14 letters. Okay, so...
Okay, so you were limited. It was a little bit of a gap in your learning.
And we only got it from someone else who was in Haiti and they left. And 14 books they must have taken with them. So we had like 14 books or 12 books or whatever it was. That's all we had. The rest were gone. And
we have another trivia question?
Yeah, go ahead. So anyway, that's all we had of the encyclopedia.
That is, hang on to that. Hold that thought for 1 second. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say to you that, again, Aviva told me that you've been talking a lot about Haiti. And I said, I'm going on Jenna's show. She's like, you might have to talk about Haiti. I'm like, I don't know anything about Haiti. And
she said, don't worry, neither does she.
And I said, and then we started talking about, like, we could do a segment, Love or Haiti. Because my version of Haiti is all about just, like, being a total hater. So I feel like Love or Haiti is a good...
That's a really great... That's